Good morning. It's the end of January. It's a Saturday morning. I'm here with Matt Shea, of course. The indomitable Matt Shea and I are coming to you live from Walnut Ridge, and we want to talk about some of the things that happened this week in Vernon. It's been a great week in Vernon for some of our students who are doing exciting things. Our hockey team is on fire. We had poetry out loud. We had a special prom up at the high school, which was a beautiful experience for our students, thanks to DECA. And we also had some tributes to our students at the last board meeting with Mindtravelers. So some great things are happening. But I also want to talk to you about testing, park test results, and how we now have ESSA results. So we'll go through that as we go through this PowerPoint.
Another great week in Vernon. As you can see from these pictures, our students are actively involved in things outside the classroom as well as doing great things inside the classroom as well. All right, on Thursday evening, the board members honored the Mindtravelers. And of course, these are our students who were reading during November and into December, and then recorded all the books that they read. It was a wonderful evening. We had the students honored. They got gifts of books, and as you can see, president of our board, Mr. Brad Sparta, and the vice president, Mr. Dave Zwire, were presenting to the students their gifts and their certificates. It was a great night. We had cake for them and cookies. It was a lot of fun. We had the families there. It was a special prom up at the high school. DECA once again serving its community and our special needs students. It was a wonderful night. Kudos to the folks who run DECA and the wonderful students who were in DECA. This was indeed a great evening. Jancee Dunn was here. A storybook writer. Her storybook, I'm Afraid Your Teddy is in Trouble, was read to the students at Cedar Mountain. It was wonderful. She talked about her childhood and how she loved her stuffed animals, and I think it resonated with all of our children at Cedar Mountain. The pre-K kids came up to the high school on a field trip, and they went through the 7 CTE programs that we have. Now, some would say it's a little early for our pre-K kids to start talking about careers, but the idea simply was to have our CTE kids at the high school talk about some of the things that the students may like. So it was a hands-on experience for our pre-K kids, and they went around to different stations. So this is a station with a B-bot, which is basically a computer, and students working with it as it identifies things. And the kids do a little programming with it as well. But they also saw some of the other CTEs like cosmetology, construction facilities and maintenance, and allied health. So it was an exciting day for our little guys. All right, just to keep people in the loop, all of our kindergarten students have received their first DRA in the last couple of weeks, and they're being analyzed. We're creating benchmark data, so it's the first time that we've talked about their reading scores, and those scores are available for parents. And secondary assessments were done with Dibbles for students that had concerns. There'll be an intervention teacher working with these students in the next couple of months to make sure those early literacy skills are taken care of. Great program overall. Our theater arts students, my goodness gracious, they went to Montclair State for the Stange competition, and wow, did they do well. Look at all these superior medals. Ethan Metz and Frank Incarnato placed top 10 for their improvisation, 4th for their comedic scene, and Ethan Metz won the senior scholarship. So we put the spotlight on them with Muggs Media. Dan Cleary interviewed them this week. So we're very excited about these great students. And just to keep things in front of you on the horizon, the theater production this spring is Young Frankenstein, which is sure to be a real crack-up and a lot of fun. So that's the show that they're putting together right now. Wow. 7th graders at Sussex County Community College. I had the wonderful opportunity of seeing them get off the bus as they entered this program. They learned all about college, and what I was really, really hoping they would do, they did, which was to start to talk about vocabulary of college, credits, how you take classes, etc. This is their first college visit. in 7th grade. Of course, it won't be their last. We hope to make sure that when they're in high school, they're on different four-year college campuses. We know the famous trip to Boston, but also other trips to New York City, Philadelphia, etc., to get our students on campus and talking about college, so that all that they do during their undergraduate or their high school career, if you will, makes sense to them and it gives them a purpose. So this was a wonderful experience. Congratulations to the guidance counselors at Glen Meadow and also the teachers that had all the 7th graders there. Poetry Out Loud, held for the 9th year or 10th year in a row. And of course we have our winners. Raina Whitty won with Layers by Stanley Kunitz. Sydney Sparta came in 2nd, and Zoe Heath earned 3rd place. Congratulations to all. Miss Whitty now goes to the Mayo Performing Center in Morristown for the regional finals. And if she proceeds from there, there's state finals, and then finally a national final in Washington, D.C. Hockey team has had an incredible run. 6 games in a row. They ran into a buzzsaw with Madison on Thursday night, but other than that, the hockey team has been outrageous. They're now ranked 10th in State Boys Division C. Want to congratulate them all and continue to support them. I think they're playing Kinnelon today. What a wonderful group of young men and women. All right, so as we talked about, the ESSA rankings have now come out on all New Jersey schools, and I just wanted people to be aware that we will do a future podcast about all of this, but this is how they are ranked. The English proficiency on the PARCC exam is 17.5% of the ranking for high school students. The math proficiency counts for 17.5% of the math proficiency. The 4-year graduation rate is very important, and that's 25%, and that follows 9th graders through 12th graders. And then the 5-year graduation rate for students who take a 5th year. Some of our special needs students and other students can take 5 or 6 years. And then chronic absenteeism, which has become a major concern for the board, and we have addressed that in the past 2 years. And then the elementary and middle schools are under a different regimen for their scores. Again, the proficiency in math are 17.5, but then there's growth scores. And the growth scores are based on how a student goes from 3rd grade to 4th grade, or 4th grade to 5th grade, or 5th grade to 6th grade, and how they improve, and that with the English and math total is 50%, and then chronic absenteeism 15%. But again, I'll be presenting at the Board of Ed to talk about this, and also we will be doing a podcast to explain any of these scores so that you're aware. And of course, the rankings are on nj.com, but they are also there available for any parents who are interested by going to the state website. So I just wanted to keep you up to date on that.
So as you can see, that's how the data is compiled, and we need to talk further about this. So Matt Shea and I are going to do a podcast in the future, probably in the next 2 weeks, in which we talk about each one of the rankings, how it came to be, what it means for our students, our teachers, and our administrators, and of course our community. Also, I'm going to present on this idea at the work session, the board work session on February 8th. So that will be live streamed, so you can see more information about how these scores were compiled. But it was a great week in Vernon. There's all these wonderful things happening, from the children and their CTE programs up at the high school to the wonderful prom, and also that fantastic hockey team. So Vernon, enjoy this winter weekend, and we'll be talking to you soon.